Hey guys, and welcome to this week's weekly wrap-up. Unfortunately, it's just me because, as we've said all week, Gretchen's road tripping across the west coast. She's back in California right now. She'll be coming home at the beginning of next week, but that means that you still have a little more time with just me. However, I will be informing you on everything that happened on Gretchen's blog, and by that I mean the one thing that happened on Gretchen's blog. But it happened, so you can go and see that. Alright, on Monday, since Gretchen couldn't do a From the Notebook video, I decided to do my Monday musing as a video. I talked about how to take down your TBR, my tips and tricks on keeping about 20 or 30 unread books on my shelves, both by going through the books that you have and getting rid of them, and by, different things you can say to keep yourself from buying books, save you money, all of those things. If you are on a book buying ban and you have a little bit of trouble with that, maybe go watch that video. It will be in the eye up above. On Tuesday, Gretchen and I had a pre-filmed video come out where we talked about the books we were planning on reading this week. She talked about the books she was bringing with her on her vacation, and I talked about some of the books that were pretty up there on my TBR. When I tell you about the books that I read this week, you will understand why we don't do TBRs. On Wednesday, I went back to Comic Book Wednesday, because that's what that originally was, and I haven't been reading, or rather I haven't been finishing too many comics as of late, but I picked up a comic that I had stopped reading over the summer while I was at work on my break, and read that, and then gave it back and didn't have to pay for it, which was lovely, one of the perks of working at a bookstore. So I reviewed Runaways Battleworld. You can watch that video as well. Hear my thoughts on it. It wasn't my favorite comic, but to know why I was a little bit iffy on it, you should definitely go watch that video. Wednesday was the only day that Gretchen had something come out on her blog. She had a Worth It Wednesday post on Storm Dancer. She had messaged me the cover of that one a while ago because she really likes the covers of those and had recommended it to me to read. I have not read it yet, but I should probably read that post if I want to know why the book itself is worthy more than just the cover. You should as well, obviously. I will link that down below so that you can go see why she thinks that's a worth it YA book. Nothing happened on Thursday, and then on Friday I had a book unboxing, but not just any unboxing. I unboxed my blind date with a book that I bought from Under the Radar Books Etsy shop. You can see that really, really short video right there in that eye. Please check that out because you get to see me being really nervous and excited. I don't do live unboxings because I have a hard time showing emotion. I just sort of get flustered and don't know what to say anymore, which is part of the reason why that video is so short. It was also our first unboxing, and it's a little awkward. We're working it out still, but hopefully someday soon it will be flawless. Then on Saturday I had another Flicks episode for you guys. It's been a while since I've done one of these because I haven't been reading as much. But I finally got the audiobook of Room from my library, which meant that I could listen to that and then watch the movie that just came out on DVD. Spoiler alert, this is one of the rare instances for me where the film was better than the book. Shock and awe. But you'll have to go watch that video to find out why exactly, for me, that movie actually was a better version of the story than the book was. Now you have reached the portion of this video where I talk about the books that I have read. Gretchen has said that she will talk about all of the books she read this week, next week's wrap-up, when she's back and actually can tell you what she thought of them. I could ask her which books she's read, but honestly I wouldn't be able to give you her thoughts on them, so we're just going to have to wait for her. However, I did read a pretty significant amount this week. None of the books that I said I was going to read during my TBR on Tuesday, but plenty of books. The first of which, obviously, was the first volume, or perhaps the only volume, of Runaways Battleworld. I'm not sure if they are continuing this again, because I stopped picking up the weekly issues, which is why I only have 2 of them here. I read the bind-up at work, obviously, and I did that review of it, so again, if you want to see my thoughts, go see that video. But yes, so I read this one. I did purchase Tokyo Ghost, because Rick Remender is one of my favorite comic book writers, and lots of people have been talking about this. I pre-ordered it and got it, pretty much the first day it came out, and I'll be doing a review of this for next week's Comic Book Wednesday. hopefully I can keep up a pace of, like, reading a consistent amount of comic books for you guys, or at least finishing them, whether it be picking up old things in the trades, or actually finally getting to the end of the runs that I am currently reading, so that we can get back to Comic Book Wednesday more consistently. But yes, look out for this one next week. Then, as well, I finished the audiobook for Room by Emma Donoghue. Again, that Flicks episode came out yesterday, actually, if you're watching this either on the YouTube or on the blog. And, again, didn't like the book as much as I liked the movie. It happens, it's a thing. The final book that I read was The Drawing of the Three, the second book in the Dark Tower series by Stephen King. Those of you who saw my book unboxing know how ironic this is, because this is what I was reading when I got that book. Yeah, so I really love this series. I might do a review of the first two books, although I'm not sure. I might have done a review of the first one a while ago. If I have to double check. I will just do a review of the second one for you probably next week. Who knows? It might come sooner. I'm not sure. But yeah, so I read this one. It's kooky and funny, like a weird mix of science fiction, fantasy, western, mystery. Every single genre just kind of mushed in here, and then it gets meta as fuck, is how I'm gonna say it. So if you are not a fan of horror, this is definitely not a horror series, but I think it's maybe one of the weirdest but best westerns I've read, because it's not like one of those romance westerns that you get at the bookstore. It's weird. It's just weird. So maybe pick these up if you haven't seen them. And if I did do a review of the first book, I will link that down below as well, although that will be from several months ago. Actually, probably a year ago now at this point. But yes, so that was the last book that I read. There you have it, guys. The first wrap-up without two of us here. Just me. Sadness. It would be better with banter, I'm sure. It also makes it more fun for me. But that's all I have for you, so I will see you Monday, because again, Gretchen isn't here to do it from the notebook, so I have to figure out something else to do for Monday. Oh my goodness, so many videos I've done so soon without any breaks. I also start my new job on Monday, so yep, stress, all of the stress. Everything is happening all at once. I will talk to you guys then. I hope you had a good week and that next week is great for you. Bye, guys.